Hey guys, this is Roll Advantage. My name is Dakota, and I've got some time to talk about a subject that's really dear to me, and it is about player backgrounds and why they're important. Um, to start off, I've got some great friends and some great players that I'm actually DMing for right now through Storm King's Thunder. Four of them really stand out to me. I've taken on a few others, and one other isn't so good, but the ones I want to talk to you about that are really important to me. So we have a gnome artificer. Her name is Draper, and she's just this artificer merchant from Waterdeep. And we really got to roleplay with her because we got to meet her parents when we traveled back to Waterdeep. We got to learn of a rival that she had and her elder, I guess, trainer for becoming an artificer who had passed away. She also had a younger sister named Katie. And then everywhere that they went, the adventuring party went, Draper had an influence because she was a merchant that had traded with those locals. So there was Renderil over in Bryn Shander, which is way up north in the cold. They had communications between those two families and were able to work out another deal because the carriages with supplies had stopped coming due to bandits. And since they already had that background, they could establish another trade route. And it was really nice. It was really fun. It got to have some discounts for magical items at the Emporium because they were well known to each other. So it was really nice. It was fun. It was great. Draper is now level 6 and has a robot essentially that she can Iron Man herself into and fly around, and it's a lot of fun. The other person I want to talk about out of the four is a knight. And this knight was a custom class that he had built and I oversaw to make sure it wasn't too overpowered. And so he is part of this order called the Order of the Round. So it's like a round table that these people go around. And he started off as a second lieutenant. And everyone started off in Nightstone. And during this course of action, his character loved to cook. And so if you've ever played Storm King's Thunder, spoilers ahead, there was goblins that infested the town after the people had ran out during the giant attack. So the goblins took over this town, and instead of fighting them all and killing them and slaughtering them and all of that, instead he cooked muffins for them and was very diplomatic about how he went because he is a knight, he is of order and being respectable and outstanding as a person. So he cooked a bunch of muffins and fed them to the goblins, and his order is all about trying to make sure every species can work well with each other and live in harmony. Absolutely love the idea. So he's not going to attack creatures that don't deserve it. And so he then learned in the Dripping Caves, which is up north, where the people had fled to, that there was goblins there, along with ogres, that were mistreating everyone. And so he went there, talked to the goblin boss who didn't want to hear anything he was saying, and instead established a new hierarchy with the goblins all having equal share. So it was very diplomatic, and it was really fun to role play out. So throughout this course of the adventure, he's been getting promoted. He's been learning of his bosses. So there was Captain Leovold. So after the whole goblin infestation and the giant attack, he got promoted to a first lieutenant instead. The character's name is Kithian. And so being a first lieutenant, he reported back to his captain, Leovold, and learned what was going on there. He eventually did make it back to Waterdeep at level 6, talked to a major, Lanithar, and learned that Captain Leovold had passed away. So they traveled for about 6 or so weeks, going all the way through Faerun, down south from Bryn Shander, and during that time they had just met Captain Leovold over in Bryn Shander. He was great. He was on the hunt for a bandit that had a 5,000 gold bounty on his head, and everything was fine. And so they went down to Waterdeep, met with Major Lanithar to tell him, yeah, we met up with Captain Leovold. He's doing great. And 2 weeks prior, while they were still on the road, the Major Lanithar had gotten contacted with a letter saying that Captain Leopold had passed away. And so Kithian, the now first lieutenant, got promoted to captain for all his hard work. Of course, there's some death that's following around, and it's unfortunate that the captain passed away, but he got promoted out of it because they needed a person to fulfill it, and the way he was going about his business, it worked out well for him. It's unfortunate, though. There was also the old man. Oh, God, I love his character concept. I don't know if he's come out and said it to the party, so if you are part of the group I'm playing with, please do not watch, just skip ahead. But the old man is a warlock who, God, I love the character idea. He's playing as Father Time, but he's lost his memory to remember who he is. So, he's just a human, by the way, very, very old, but the way I've let it up is that his life has extended past the normal human life cycle, or life expectancy. And so after the whole attack on Nightstone, the characters had reached level 4, and they got picked up by a cloud giant castle. And inside was Zephyros, an eccentric cloud giant wizard. And so he traveled with him, and he didn't know who this cloud giant was, but the cloud giant knew him, because as the story unfolds, there was a time when the cloud giant was born, and the old man was present at the actual birth, took care of the cloud giant, and then as the old man got older in his age, the cloud giant took care of him. So it built on the concept of, wow, he's been around for a long, long time. Also, while in Nightstone, I built off the fact that there was a temple that was dedicated to Maliki and the god of birth. I can't remember. But in the window pane, there was the actual signs of Maliki, the forest god, with all the forest trees and the actual glass panes. And then there was a bright light in the center that was birth. And in that was a baby with a rune that resembled time. And while there, they found a goblin that had an hourglass that also had the same markings and runes on it. And it gravitated more towards the old man. So he's been playing it up really, really well. He has amnesia, so he doesn't remember a lot. He has pocket sand to cast with his cantrip. So if he's doing cure wounds, he rubs sand in their eyes. Or if he's casting the friend spell, he has his old cane and hits him on the head and says, "Be my bestie." And it's a lot of fun. He has his hourglass that he's been working on. It's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. And so every week or so I have him do a percentile die, and he unlocks one click of it. And so far he's unlocked all 5 clicks and now remembers who he is. So it's really interesting incorporating this into the story. One of the other people I want to talk about is a female drow cleric from the Underdark, of course, who was in love with a dwarf. And so the drow's name is Shava. The dwarf is Elowin. And so Elowin had escaped from the Underdark, went back to Nightstone where her uncle was, named Morak, and he ran the inn over there. And during the giant attack, Morak told Elowin to go to Bryn Shander and let everyone else know that there's giants attacking. Simple enough. So when they get to Nightstone, Shava finds out that Elowin had been here because one of the goblins had a silver locket that was actually supposed to be for a different NPC, but I switched it over to Shava to make the background better for her. And so she was like, "Oh, she's been here," and went started looking and found out from Morak when they rescued everyone down in the Dripping Caves that she had went to Bryn Shander instead. So that's why they went on the Cloud Giant Castle and flew over there. Well, in the middle of this battle, unfortunately, Elowin died. I had it as one of the NPCs that could be played over at Bryn Shander, and she was played by the man who plays by the person that plays the old man. And so Elowin was unfortunately on the castle walls and trying to distract the giants that were attacking, the frost giants that were attacking. And they had broken through the gate at this point, just at this point, broken through the gate, saw Elwyn up in the tower, or on the walls, took their great axe, hit Elwyn, and destroyed the wall, knocking her to the ground and took a bunch of bludgeoning damage. Then the frost giant went through the wall, or the opening in the gate, and took the great axe and just cleaved her in half. The entire party fell dead silent at this point, and the look on their eyes, it was amazing, because they had invested all this time trying to find this person, especially the person who plays Shava. And so Kithian, the knight, found the body first and tried to talk to Captain Leovold to hide it, just keep it away, make sure that Shava does not know about it. So Shava, unfortunately, still does not know, up until last night when we played a session, that Elwyn had died. Also, since Shava was a cleric, a drow cleric, of course, Lolth wants to intervene and spread her influence through the drow's mind, but she's been fighting it. And with that, we roll every single day a d10. And so, based on that, she changes her alignment, Shava does, to something else. But if it's a 0, then the alignment stays the same. So every single day, it could be like chaotic good or lawful evil or anything like that. And the players have taken notice that, oh, you're acting different lately, which was really, really fun. Also, the old man took ceremony as a spell, one of the starter spells, to try and marry both Shava and Elwyn when they had gotten there. Unfortunately, they can't, but when they tried hiding the body from Shava, they went to a temple of Tyr and found out that there was resurrection magic, or a place where the information of resurrection magic is, over in the Moonshae Isles. And that happens to be Mind Artist, if you had seen my last video. So they headed back to Waterdeep to try and get a boat, because Duvessa over in Bryn Shander had an aunt that could give them free passage on the sea. So that's why they went to Waterdeep, so that way they could sail over there. So I've talked about Draper, Kithian, the old man, Shava. I've got one last character that I really, really like. And he is a fighter samurai, so the samurai archetype. And he used to be a pirate in his younger days, but he moved away from that because it was the family business, and when he realized what was actually happening, he ran away from it. So he went to Nightstone and appeared there, and when the pirates attacked, he freaked out and saw all the death that was coming to them that was unwarranted. So instead, he helped defend Lady Nandar over there. Is it Nandar or Naspar? I can't remember. But helped defend the lady, and she took notice of this and didn't say anything that he was a pirate when he was a kid, and instead made him a guard. And through his course, before the adventure happened, he actually happened to be promoted to the head of the guard. So he was the captain there. Very, very, very lawful at this point now. And so he did have a brother that happened to be a pirate back over in, I think it was Port Last? I can't remember. So the entire time the goblins hadn't attacked, he was open to keep, and he's been playing out very specifically, and amazingly, by the way, that he doesn't know much of the area outside of Nightstone because he's been there since he was a kid, and that he's very, very lawful, and he's looking for a way to resurrect the lady who had been unfortunately crushed by a boulder. So he is going out looking for resurrection magic at this point also. So there is party conflict that's going to happen between Shava and the samurai. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they want different people resurrected, and only King Hekaton, the Storm King of all the giants, can cast resurrection magic. So that's how I've intertwined the story with their personal quests and their goals. So it's really exciting. I'm happy to see where this is going. But it's very, very important to have characters put their background into the story and you work that in. Because if not, people don't know why they're going out and adventuring. They don't care. Like if Kithian, the knight, didn't have his background, why would he adventure? Instead, right now he's adventuring to bring order to all the different races and different monstrosities to come together as a civilization and work together so that there's peace. But why would he do that any other time? Why would he go if he was just a farmer? It doesn't make any sense. Um, it's very important, and for the characters and the players themselves, the players being the people that actually show up to play, it is very important for them to have a reason to come. If you don't work their backstory out, and they've wrote 10 pages of this amazing backstory that they want this to happen, they want this to happen, they want this to happen, but you're not putting into that, you're not showing any effort, and why should they show you any effort? Yeah, they can take their d20 and just roll it and be like, okay, yeah, I swung my longsword, 18 to hit, 22 damage. That's not fun. But if they role play, get into the social aspects of why they're there and how they act and use their bonds and their flaws and their ideals, that is what makes it an actual role playing game. And it helps them invest into their time and their money, buying new figures, their new dice that matches with their character, books, all of this stuff. It helps the setting be more enjoyable and more memorable, and you want that from a game. So, for example, since the old man had realized who he was, the person that plays him actually bought a new figurine that is. So he had two figurines. One was an old man with just a cotton beard that he had glued on, very, very dull and mysterious looking. His new figure is now elaborate, and it's a wizard holding out a staff, and I believe a scroll with runes on it, or maybe it was a lantern that he turned into an hourglass. I can't remember, but it looked much, much better because he came to be who he realized who he was. He is Father Time. So, with that, I'm going to end the video. Just remember to incorporate players' backstories, make the setting more memorable, and years down the line, you could all interact and laugh about it. Be like, oh, remember that one time when you jumped into the bowholder's mouth because he ate your sword, and that was a really, really important sword to you because it was passed down as a family heirloom? Stuff like that. So remember, incorporate players' backstories. And as always, have fun. It's just a game, but make it memorable. Bye, guys.